I guess with online stuff, it's so hard to moderate voice chat. It's so hard to moderate those sort of scenarios.
Because, if you reported that, he didn't say anything wrong, really. Like, he wasn't swearing, he wasn't toxic, he wasn't rude, really. It was just
racist,
like
one of
maybe sexist at a borderline, but
at a borderline.
If I had received that as an admin, I probably wouldn't ban them over that. That's not enough. You know what I mean? Which is weird coming from me because, like, I've obviously clipped it and gone, this is a really funny, weird circumstance. But if that was sent to me as an admin, I would go, yeah, and what? Like, it wasn't even that bad. But I think just the idea that, is it that we allow the funny banter sort of versions through so that makes the rest okay?
Yeah, where do we draw the line almost?
Yeah, where do you draw the line? Because like I'm very lucky in the moving on to Rust now, which is probably the most toxic game you'll ever play in your life.
Why? Can you explain to us before we say
I don't know.
It's
I wish I knew, but I don't
right?
know.
In terms of like, it's not like it's got a ranking system. It's like it's like acquiring resources and like.
But then if you have the biggest base and the most guns and the, like you're the big boys on campus sort of thing, like you win the wipe or whatever.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what makes Rust so toxic. I think it might be the fact that the basic premise of the game is to make it unenjoyable for others. Like, the idea is that you will steal their stuff. That's literally what the game is designed for. And so that doesn't breed a very good culture where the point of the game is to craft up stuff to blow up someone's base and take their loot. Like, that's
just like real life.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Like, that's the game design. Like, that's not I don't even know the words, but like, a side factor. That is what people do, and that's what you do. Like, if I played for quite some time in quite a large sort of group, and every night we would raid another base and take all their stuff. And like it's very fun. But for some reason that breeds this new level of toxicity.
Okay.
I think particularly when you go up against players who may play on the server regularly, and that they're good and they know that they're good, and they've done very well in like every previous wipe. So they're going to be like a formidable opponent, and that sort of, I guess, spurs that toxicity. But coming from like an admin perspective, I've been very lucky in that the community that I admin for, the owner of the server, whenever I've been faced with like sexism or anything like that, they've been extremely supportive of me. They have said, like, we don't tolerate it at all. If you, as an admin, if you get abused by a player, especially as if me being a female comes into it, the owner of the server is 100% supportive of a permanent ban from our servers because he doesn't want those sort of people in our community.
Yeah.
And even to the point where, like, there's been cases that have been brought to me of certain things happening, and there may be like a female player involved, and so I have maybe like muted the person from being able to speak or type in chat in the game, because I get afraid that as a female, am I interpreting it worse than what it really is because it's me, you know what I mean? And so I tend to sort of pull back the reins a bit, and I don't go as harsh as just a straight up ban from the get-go. So there's one circumstance where these couple of guys were like door camping is where you basically sit at someone's door and you just annoy the crap out of them. Generally through in-game comms, and every time they open their door, you would kill them with the intent to get into their base, right? So there was a couple of guys who had found this female gamer and just like sat outside her door for hours.
Wow.
And she basically was stuck in the base, like she couldn't do anything. And while it's not against the rules, because they didn't really do anything wrong, they were sort of like saying in game, like, oh, come out, like we just want to talk, we just want to be friends, like just being like annoying more than anything. And so I issued them with a mute on voice and text comms so they couldn't annoy her anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And then I checked the ticket later on, and this because we record sort of what we do as admins and we post it in the ticket. The owner of the server watched the ticket, like watched the clip that I had posted, and issued them a straight up ban, like permanently from our servers. And sent me a message and said if it ever comes up again, don't be afraid to like go harsh, because I will, number one, I will support your decision as one of our admins. But number two, I know that you feel worried to, like take action in a situation where it's another female because you feel like you're overreacting, and you don't want people to be like, oh, I only got banned because the admin's a female,
There's quite a lot of social responsibility with all of this.
And he basically said to me, like, I'll issue the ban, and then if they have something to say, they can come and talk to me about it. So yeah, it feels really good to have that support, but I sort of like thinking back on it now, how bad it is that I will hold back what I should do out of fear of the retribution that I'll get for them judging my actions based on my gender.
Yeah. Okay.
It's such a double-edged sword to like.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah, it's a shame, really. Like, that it has to get to this point, but yeah. Have you got a clip for us?
I have a clip from Russ. It's only a quick one. I'll give some context first.
Yeah.
So this one is so a group that I played with for a while. There's another group that, for whatever reason, I don't actually know why, but they don't like me. And any situation that they're in where they kill me or anything like that, they'll tell me in like game chat that they will give all my loot back if I give them my Snapchat.
Oh, jeez.
So in this clip, I wasn't even online. This is one of my friends that recorded it, but I am asleep in the base. You can see like my body lying on the furnaces. And they pulled up in a boat next to our base, and I'll show you how that went down. I love, Joel, you like look at Ryan and you like see what she has to deal with sort of look on your face.
Yeah. I also just I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed.
Yeah.
This is only a quick one, but yeah, this is it.
Oh, that's kind of a lie. I'm pretty mad about this kind of thing.
Everyone quiet?
Hey, show us. Can I get your snap?
Okay.
I don't know if you heard it, but he said, hey, show us, can I get your snap? And then drove off again.
Wow. So they're like kind of like pestering and hollering and
they've gone to the effort of finding where my base is, come to that location to ask for my Snapchat.
This is straight up. This is online catcalling. That was an online catcall.
Yeah. Yeah.
What the heck?
But it doesn't face the same resistance and the same norms and the same mechanisms that
it would if you were walking down the street.
Well, yeah, it's like voice chat. Even if it's like you get abuse in voice chat, it's like, and I'm not defending game companies, right? But if we try to crack down on things like that, how do you do voice? How does someone comb? Even if you were to record voice comms, every single voice comm that's ever existed,
how do you? Yeah, like the manpower to monitor that would just be. You couldn't.
I actually don't even know if they do. So if you get reported for a voice abuse, what did they base the ban on? Did they just go?
Well, there must be some sort of recording because there's recordings for Overwatch.
Hmm.
Like if you get reported for like hacking, someone reviews the gameplay. But yeah, I find it odd that because if I've watched back through clips of mine that I've recorded, there's no audio. No, there is audio, like game audio, but no like comms
Maybe it's recorded in the demos, but we can't see it.
here. Yeah, and it's kept for a certain amount of time and then overwritten or I don't know. I've never looked into
Maybe
that.
they record like an X amount of time around the time of the report. It's like 5 minutes after, 5 minutes before, or something.
Yeah.
And have a look at that, but
Yeah.
it's tough because it really is like a struggle because you can make a great game and think about the things and the mechanisms that need to be there to make it quote unquote safe, but people will find a way to
Get around it.
Yeah.
Mm.
But it's great that you were saying your Rust community and your server owner are putting in place good things to alleviate, I guess, not just the burden on you as mods, but I guess everyone playing in the server that they will see. Do you get to see someone got banned in Rust? Is it like?
Yeah. So, well, I mean, if they're online, like it comes up on like a message that they've been banned and the reason for the ban. But we have a Discord as well, which has a list of all the bans that it posts like a message there. So you can jump on and have a look. And if you're banned, when you try and connect to the server, it says you can't and the reason why.
Like that girl that you were saying, that story you told, did she get to find out that the person got banned and that
she made the report.
And she
about
gets
the
told
player.
that
it was happening live. So the ticket came in, okay. I jumped on the server and was like watching, like as an admin, you're invisible and you're sort of like flying around but I was like just like literally floating in the air above these two players interacting and watched, what went down. Which probably was the reason why like I was so harsh because I couldn't believe what I was watching or hearing, and yeah, I gave him a straight up ban. As soon as he was banned from the server, I turned off my invisible and I like went up to her and I said like, I'm really sorry, the player's been banned. It's a permanent ban. On behalf of our community, I'm very sorry that happened to you. Please don't, like let that reflect on our servers. Like, we don't tolerate that behavior. As you can see, like, we've banned the player. But please let me know. Send me a DM even in Discord if you want, if it ever happens in the future, because that won't be tolerated.
I think that's really good. You're fighting the good fight there. Like the sort of, just that little thing there, I think sent sort of like a butterfly effect throughout the community of Rust, or maybe even to other gaming communities.
The world.
Yeah, to the world. You're changing the world, Emma. Yeah, it's cool. It's good.
And I think and a lot of that comes from my experience. Like, if there had been it doesn't happen very often, but I have had players banned for their toxicity and things like that. And feels good isn't the right wording, but I'm struggling to sort of explain it in any other way. But I guess it sort of like justifies that the thoughts you were having weren't wrong. Like, and you were got to going, what they did to me or said to me or whatever wasn't okay. And the fact that the admin or the game developer or whatever has agreed with that and has taken action against that player, it sort of is like a very small win among the many losses,
Well, you're taking a stance of like, this stuff is wrong. We can all kind of agree this is wrong.
And someone in like a position of power, whether it be like, at a server level or at a game level, has agreed with me and that player now can no longer play on that account, as Joel said before.
I don't want to get like too into it because it could be its a whole own podcast, but how does it make you feel when we have good moves in gaming and then we have the last couple of months of Activision-Blizzard and what that's been coming out in the courts and in the...
Yeah.
Just fill me in real quick.
Just a quick for everyone who's
I
not
haven't-
familiar with gaming. Activision-Blizzard, very big company. They make Overwatch. They're still
WoW.
making Warzone. Yeah, WoW. I think they made Warzone.
Activision, I think, did, didn't they?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like yeah. So massive game company, lots of money. Started coming out that there was some bad, unsafe work
toxic
practices.
culture.
Yep.
Yeah.
And like a really misogynist work culture.
Particularly towards the female developers. Yeah.
Yeah, and then
Or female employees in general, not just developers. Yeah.
Anyone that kind of interacted with them kind of had a bad story, and it kind of looked like the news story was just going to be, bad culture. They'll do a Facebook, they'll change their name or they'll change their brand, and they'll move on, and we'll all
see you
forget.
later.
And then the state of California took out a lawsuit against them and said unfair work practice. Like, what do you guys like?
What do you? Yeah.
What do you
But it
guys
was,
do
I don't know
about
if you knew about this job, but there's more than that too. So there was one particular, I think it's become a class action now.
Wow.
But there
Is this
was
based on the girl
one,
who died?
yeah, there was one
Yeah.
particular circumstance who there was I apologize to anyone who I may get some of the facts wrong, but this is how I understand it. There was some sort of work function. I think it was a Christmas party, something like that. This particular female, through whatever circumstance, maybe drinking too much or whatever, ended up taking her shirt off or something like that. And photos were taken of her in that circumstance and were then passed around the office in the days and weeks that followed this event.
Oh wow. Okay.
And that's I'm really sorry if I've gotten those facts wrong, but that's what I understand happened. And obviously people then picked on her and bullied her and all that sort of thing for having been in that situation, which, who gives a crap? Like, people drink too much all the time. Like, you see guys getting naked and running down the street and everyone laughs and no one takes photos of that and
They
sends
say
it around
boys
the
will be
office.
boys, and
Yeah.
they
Whatever.
dismiss the behavior.
And if she has gotten, had a few too many drinks and taken her shirt, who cares? Don't take photos of it.
And it doesn't, it doesn't
like,
give you the right to.
Yeah. Anyway, so the abuse got quite bad to the point where she committed suicide.
Wow.
And
That's terrible.
that is
it's awful.
probably what has, I guess, changed my point of view the most, that it got to the point where someone is no longer with us. And that's not okay. Like, there's not that anything else is okay, but the fact that it's gotten to that, I can't comment on this individual's mental health or anything like that, but I don't know how you guys feel, but I'm of the opinion that you don't kill yourself over something minor. It must have gotten pretty bad to get to that, to get to that where the only solution was to not be around anymore. It wasn't just a matter of leaving the company and getting another job. Like, I could imagine that if the gaming industry is anything like the IT industry that I work in, everyone knows everyone. So I can imagine that maybe, the stories or even the pictures, got sent around to other gaming companies and things like that. And so if she even tried to get a job elsewhere, it'd be, dealing with it there too.
Yeah. And just so I can get this right and for the audience as well. So there was a big work event and people were getting drunk and she got drunk. She took her shirt off and pictures were taken and then passed around the office. And I just want to get the timing right. Was it then when the lawsuit came in, or was it when she unfortunately passed away?
No, so I
these
think
circumstances?
I think it's a separate.
I think the timeline is that she's committed suicide and the lawsuit is sometime later.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I think.
Because it's all kind of coming out, because some of it's like years old. Some of the stories that are being told in court are from people who no longer work at Activision-Blizzard. Like,
But they did in the past, and this is the experiences that they had when they did. Yeah.
Yeah, well, trigger warning for everyone, of course, about, like, it's a really sad and serious topic, but there's stories of the, like, I don't know if you heard, Emma, it's like the one I heard, and I just went, that if that's true, throw the book at this company. They've got they had like a Friday Arvo drinking practice that you would the guys would get drunk in the office
Mm-hmm.
and then they'd crawl around the cubicles and abuse the women at Activision-Blizzard, and sexual advances.
This is just
and,
like, am I watching Wolf of Wall Street right now? Like, is
Yeah,
that
it
what's
sounds
happening?
like a movie
Exactly.
plot.
Yeah, what the heck?
Yeah.
And then there's terrible accusations from secretaries about their treatment on work trips and inappropriate things bosses did with making things sexual on work trips and like
Wow.
the
I think there was like
classic
one
power
lady who
things.
was like the assistant or some sort of secretary or something to one of the high level executives, and I don't know if you heard about this, Joel, but there was something where they would regularly go on sort of work trips, and normally as a gaming company it was things like gaming conventions and things like that where they'd be like talking about their releases that are coming out, because the people that they're working with are like the people who are who are marketing their products and are developing their games. So they would often be on panels at like E3 and Comic-Con and all that sort of thing. And I think that I read one story where, like as the secretary of one of these people, it was expected for them to be on the work trip as well to do their support work through, because they're still working, even though they're at, LA or whatever. And there was, this sort of expectation that there was, other needs that would be met by the secretary as well.
Mm.
And I think you know what I'm suggesting there.
Oh,
It's
And
kind of
I
like
was
the
just like,
classic
no.
power abuse situation where you get someone that goes, oh, I'm going to use my power for my own thing and not for the good of the workplace and for the good of the Activision Blizzard as a company. And I Emma, I want to ask you, while we're still in this episode and we have time with you, you were telling me a different time, and if you're comfortable talk about this, that you've been yourself but others as well involved in kind of like a counter movement against Activision Blizzard as a company.
I wouldn't say it's a counter movement, but like me and quite a few of my friends have taken the stance that we won't support that company, at least until such times as the court case is over and there is an outcome. I personally, even if they're found not guilty or whatever, have seen enough stories now that in my mind, it's impossible that it's all made up. I mean, someone has passed away as a result. Like that's permanent. That can't be undone. And there was, a few of my friends have not actively, but we've just chosen not to support that company. So I've uninstalled all of their games. Even some of them that I really enjoyed, and I just don't think it's right to support a company that doesn't support their employees.
Well, I mean, it's good. You've taken. It's an individual responsibility almost. It gets down to, I think, just responsibility. Hey.
Like I think even to the point where like I owned. I still do at some point, but like I have played Overwatch in the past, and there was some sort of thing that came out about that because one of the in-game characters in Overwatch was named after one of these guys that was one of the like ringleaders of this like bullying,
Harassment
stuff, and Blizzard came out and said, we're a really good company, and so that this person isn't seen as, we don't support their actions and all that sort of thing, and so they changed the name of the character.
Can you tell us which character?
I think it was McCree.
Oh, I haven't
McCree
played the
in
game for
Overwatch.
ages. Is that the guy with the deagle? The cowboy? I'm pretty sure I played that
I
character.
think-
Is he not McCree
yeah,
anymore?
No,
Wow.
because that character was named after a real person at Activision-Blizzard.
Wow.
Okay.
And so their sort of thing was, we'll make a big publicity thing out of it. We'll change the character's name and we'll sort of say that, we're really supportive of fair work rights and no sexism and harassment in the workplace and blah, blah, blah. And I'm sort of like, I'm sorry, but changing a name of a character in a game is not enough.
It was that, but they've also then, when the lawsuit came out, they didn't respond with, "Hey, we'll follow along and we'll make sure you have all the information." They came out with a presser that I remember reading, because the words that stuck with me were, "The state has taken some of our stories from our workplace out of context."
Interesting.
And the
Yeah, I think I
words,
saw that press release. It's like, well, why is there a context?
what context is that okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
And look, Emma's not the only one. Like, I'm pretty sure I saw World of Warcraft was down like massive numbers just as the lawsuit hit, and it's not a coincidence. People don't just stop playing your game at a particular point in time.
and were investors pulling out as well?
There's all of that going on, and
I'm
I'm
guessing
sure
so.
we'll then get investor suits as well. It seems that always follows the bad things going on, like with Cyberpunk. You know,
There's some, like, even I've been quite proud. I've seen some streamers that have said they won't stream those games. Yeah, which is good to see them supporting.
I'm wondering if this really is going to be the fall of Activision-Blizzard, because even if we went, if the streamers were like, yeah, we'll play the games, and the gamers are like, we'll give them a second chance, their games aren't that popular anymore, and they're not working really on anything. They've got the new Diablo, and they'll keep delaying that and delaying that. At what point is the community going to go, I don't care how good the game is when it comes out, you do something about it? For me, the thing that hit reading the news, that one of the executives, a female executive, left Activision-Blizzard to join I'm going to paraphrase, the Council of Females in Gaming. Like, it's like a corporate structure, a board where it's their like primary objective is to push fairness and equality and counter the kind of things happening at Activision-Blizzard. That made me go, if someone is that driven,
To the point where they need to join a council.
Yep.
To change that. Yeah.
And take,
I know what
like,
you're
I'm sure
saying.
it's a massive pay cut. Like, I bet, like, talking about Activision-Blizzard, they're a big company, I'm sure it's big money in the executive team. That's a move that goes, as much as all the other stories and things, there's something going real bad at Activision-Blizzard. And the fact that they're almost blaming the delays of Diablo on the lawsuit.
Yeah.
The presses that are coming out are like, we're cooperating with the lawsuit. Sorry guys, Diablo's delayed. And it's like,
Yeah.
No.
that's not how that
That's
is.
not an excuse. No. Like, what cooperation could they possibly be doing that is stopping them from developing a game? Is it because they can't have their frat culture anymore? They can't crawl around on the floor in front of Arvos, so it's stopping them from,
They've got to work now.
My take is that the advertising section of Blizzard and Activision is like, don't do anything. It's against the rule books to do anything, to release something and do something controversial at the same time. Yeah.
And I what a disappointing result this whole thing coming out, regardless of, as you say, Emma, about results or outcomes in court cases. And what a sad result that we're trying to look at the big players in our industry as protectors of us as consumers. We can't be great consumers for you and feel safe and use your products when you make dangerous products from a dangerous workplace. Like, what do you want us to do? Pretend that it's not an issue? And it's like, yeah, that is what they want you to do.
Like, and I'm not gonna go, I'm gonna stop playing Counter-Strike because, like, Valve don't ban all the people that are mean to me. Like, that's not, like, I understand that that's so far out of their control that there's nothing they can do nothing that will please everyone. Like, they're gonna, they're stuck in a catch-22. They ban everyone for everything and end up with no players. Because I'm sure I've done things in the past people have reported me for, like,
yeah,
but they, like, it feels wrong to, I don't know, like, has it gotten to the point where the bare minimum is that the employees aren't assaulted at work. Like,
And
is
why
that
is
what
that
we've
a
gotten
debate?
to?
Yeah, why do we even?
Why is this a negotiation over the
Yeah, have we gotten
treatment
to the
of
point
employees?
where like we respect a game company because their employees aren't taking photos of when they get drunk, and like I don't know, like I feel like they should be held to a significantly higher standard than that being the bare minimum.
Well, it's my favorite. I feel like it applies here perfectly. My favorite Linus Tech Tips quote is, "You don't get points for not screwing up." And it's like,
that's
yeah,
right.
that is exactly
Yeah.
how it is.
Yeah.
Just because we actually get treated how we should be treated, that's not a +1. That's a it's
That's
not a 0
even.
out of 10.
Yeah.
And it's like,
so
how
true.
can we stand? And it's like, our game companies, we've got scandals. Esports is now becoming the new sports with sex scandals, allegations of sexual assault, and things happening. Not just like, oh, it's in the personal life. That happens. The Sinatra stuff came out. Harry G from Counter-Strike had things said about him. I don't know if that's resolved up now. But how are you supposed to go as a community and go, we're a safe place? And then you get what happens in game. You get these stories popping up in the news feed. You have your favorite game company doing what it does. How are we all just supposed to go, oh, this is the bare minimum standard, what we've got now, and that's fine, and we move on and we play the game. I give money.
I also don't think that like the gaming industry should be segregated from, like, they're not the only industry where those expectations should be, not even expectations, where like being a good human is required.
It is like, it is. Why is it separate?
Yeah.
But it is like you do not see on Channel 9 when you go on. No one cares. I have not seen. I've been trying to look for Activision-Blizzard stories, and I know it's not like super relevant to Australia because it's American. But it's like, what about all the stuff here? And
but like if there was I'm sure I can't at this point in time give you any specific like examples, but I'm 100% certain in the past there would have been cases of American companies or companies from another country where there's been some big scan. I mean, like, I don't think referring to political parties and political things is because that's a very international issue. But like, I can't think of an example, but I'm sure there would have been in the past some sort of example of, women being treated poorly in the workplace that weren't in gaming that made it onto the news here. I'm 100% certain.
But I guess it's
Surely.
The juicy story gets the like. I mean, like, I know a long time ago, but like Clinton and all of the things that went on with Clinton. That's like front page news.
I was thinking Lewinsky in my head, but I was like,
I couldn't think of her name. The whole time I was like, I know who you're talking about. I just can't. But it's like, why do we? And it's like, we get the American election stuff, even though it really doesn't affect us unless you want to get political and it's your job to look at relations with Australia and America.
Yeah.
But you get a big scandal like Activision-Blizzard that I think people are looking at as like, it's just a small gaming company. It's like, it's billions of dollars, and if it was cold, you'd give a crap.
Yeah.
And that's...
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's probably part of the problem. Like, I would... when gaming tournaments sort of first started coming to Australia, like when I think the first IEM, which is a CSGO tournament, came to Australia in 2018, something like that. I went to it with a few of my friends, and my mum was like, "Oh, what are you doing on the weekend?" I'm like, "I'm going to a gaming tournament," and she's like, "Are you playing in it?" And I'm like, no, like I'm watching, like there's professional teams from all over the world that are coming out to play, and and she's like, "Wait, so you like sit in an arena and you watch other people play on their computer?"
It's like, yeah.
And I'm like, yes, that's exactly what it is.
It's like when you go to the big green pitch and you watch other people play the sport.
It's no different to going to a football game or anything like that. Like, it just happens to be that their ball is a computer, like there's, and their pitch is 10 workstations, like that's just how it is. And And she's like, oh, what do you mean? Like, is like a tournament? Like, do they get paid? And I'm like, yeah, like there's millions of dollars in like, I think the Dota tournament that came to Australia, which are on the international circuit, whatever it is.
Yeah.
I think the first prize winner, like the team, gets like $40 million or something. Like it's not
What?
like if you have a look,
40 million.
And yeah,
like
and it's-
most paid esports players.
the one I remember, just like individual player, I remember the Fortnite World Cup happened and Booger won like just under $4 million for playing Fortnite. And it was like he won, I think he won the final game, but he played like 3 games to get there and that was it. And he was just one dude wins just under 4 million. And he was like 16 years old when he won that.
Jeez.
So like
yeah.
the top player at the moment, their gamer tag is No Tail. I'm not sure if that's pronounced
Is that
correctly,
Dota
but
2?
it's N0 TAIL. They're a Dota 2 player, and their current winnings in total is just over $7 million.
Wow. And it's only
That's
gonna get.
that's the sort of level that you see at like professional tennis players and stuff. Like that's
It's only
not.
gonna get bigger.
Hold on, is that a
too.
year? Or is that like his total earnings so
Um,
far? So he's earned a couple million a year.
I think it's overall earnings.
Oh, okay.
What's
Yeah,
scary
top
though is
100 highest overall earnings.
it'd be really
Jeez.
scary though. I bet he's not that old. Or sorry, he or she.
I
But
don't know.
but from
Johan,
context,
they're
I would
they're
assume
28.
Yeah.
because
28.
That's another thing. Like the prevalence of female esports players is kind of like its own debacle. With it's really not where it should be.
Oh, sorry, no, it's broken down earnings by year. And so it looks
yeah.
like they started to appear on the scene in like 2010 and were earning like, thousands of dollars. And then they must have gotten into like pro gaming sort of around 2016 and were taking home like $500,000 sort of thing each year. Then in 2018, 2019 was 2.2 and then $3.1 million.
I'd
And
assume
then,
they
like, it's gone
won
back-
in those years, right? Because he'd probably be on a bare salary is usually how that works for playing for an org. But then, unless
But no,
you got
there'd
paid $3 million a year,
be a salary solely from your org, but then I think the majority of it would be prize money, wouldn't it, from winning
you'd have to.
tournaments?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I would
Yeah.
assume he's on like a couple. If he's a good player, he'd be on 500,000 or whatever. But then his team won the major, and he won $2 million from it, or whatever.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
crazy, and then that's another reason that we can't have the state of our culture within gaming is that it is now big business. There's no
Yeah.
excuse. There's a lot of money. There's a lot of reg
Mm-hmm.
around that.
I'm actually quite proud to say there is an Australian on the board. They're in the third
Oh.
spot.
Oh.
Aussies.
Their gamer tag is Ana, ANA. They're 22, so they're born in 1999. And their earnings
Could've been
overall
us.
so far is just over $6 million.
Ooh.
Yeah,
And
'cause
like
remember,
year on year.
I remember the big story
And
that
that's
came
just
out.
in the last 5 years because the first
Oh,
amount is
wow.
2016. And then 18-19 was, $3 million per year. And then they've gone, 2021 is not over yet. So maybe there's still figures to be published
Wow.
there.
Mate.
But
But-
yeah.
I remember the big story was that when Booger won the World Cup in Fortnite, he wasn't old enough to legally acquire the money that he had won. So he had to be put on trust. His parents got the money on trust for
Yeah,
him.
he's on this list too. He's in 22nd spot.
Oh.
He's just over $3 million he's earned.
Wow.
Which I think he won in one go because I don't think he's won since then. So that's
Oh,
like,
really? Okay.
Yeah, he
let
won
me have a
one
look.
World Cup.
And then just went, see ya. Or he did. He
I'm
kept
sure he's on a
going, or-
salary. He'll be on a salary,
yeah.
as well. But and he'll only be on a couple 100,000. But like, I
Yeah,
think
so
it's-
there's a big $3 million win in 2019.
yeah, that was that World
And that's when
Cup.
he was 16. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mate. It's only going to keep rising too, hey. It's only going to keep on
With
climbing.
the eyes on it, people think there's not that many eyes on it. It's like, no, you go look at the numbers. More people watch the League of Legends Championship worldwide than people watch like the Super Bowl.
Yeah, or the Olympics, I heard.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think because of COVID, the COVID lockdowns that's happened in the past 2 years, people have gone more into gaming. and those were the only things that could properly run
Yeah.
online. So
The online.
Like, have
days
you
of
seen even some
competitive-
of the leaks of the Twitch payouts to some of the big streamers?
Yeah,
I
that was
heard about
hilarious. It was like an accidental publication of like the exact dollars to stream.
Yeah, so someone like I
Whoops.
don't know if you're familiar with some of these streamers, but I'm sure you know Shroud.
I love.
oh
Shroud
yeah,
Boy.
Shroud, yeah.
I
CS boy.
can't stand him, but look, that's
What?
your perspective.
What do you mean?
I really liked him as a CS:GO player.
Oh, he's a terrible
But-
streamer.
It
terrible
really annoyed
streamer.
me that he was given a while ago. Rust did like a Twitch drop campaign thing. So if you watched a certain streamer, you would get like an in-game skin.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
That person was dropping, and whatever reason in the week that you can earn these skins, Shroud basically said, I'm over streaming Rust, and just stopped, so you couldn't get his skin anymore.
GG, well played.
And then
It's
told
exclusive.
Face Punch, and then told Face Punch, who's the developer of Rust, that whoever watches his girlfriend's stream should get his skin.
That's
And
okay,
so
right?
they changed it to her stream to get his in-game skin. And I'm just like, could you not just like not be a dick for a week and just stream so people get your skin? You know, like they're the reason you're popular. You know?
Yeah.
He's the FPS god, and he's like, I will not play your game.
Yeah.
He's done the same thing with New Halo. He was like, I'm not playing it. But that list you
But
were
he's
you were
in
saying-
like I think this is the earnings for 2-year period, 2019 to 2021. He's 25th on the list at $2 million of Twitch earnings in that
Per
period.
Oh, in that year, yeah. Well, in those 2
2-year
years.
period. Top of the list is
2 year
Critical Role,
yeah.
who I'm not familiar with. I don't know what.
Dungeons and
Oh,
Dragons.
really? So
Let's go,
they've
boys.
earned in that 2-year period $9.6 million.
That's a
Just
company,
on
though.
Twitch.
That's a
That's
company.
just
What are
on
we
Twitch.
doing?
We have our 20 viewers, and they will
Nice.
start paying $1,000 subscriptions.
Yes, good. For $1,000.
Yeah, for
subscription.
premium Patreon content.
Oh, what would we put on there?
I don't want to talk about it.
Okay.
Emma, but I'm interested. How many females from what you know are females on that list? How many are there that are like?
I don't.
Because I'd
I
actually
don't know
assume
most
there's
of
a
these
lot.
names.
Okay, I know with Emma needs to go very soon, right? You're in the like need to go soon. Can you give me a time that you're like we need to go do that?
Well, I mean, we were recording for like well over an hour.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
absolutely.
can't with hard drive space.
For a very quick interject, and then we'll wrap up this episode. How much of the culture issues in gaming do you think come from the Twitch and otherwise culture around female streamers? Not their fault. The culture that then, I don't want to say simps, but I'm going to say it. The culture that kind of breeds some of those attitudes.
I think like the bit that disappoints me the most is that I think a lot of that, I'm not even sure if culture is the right word, but that sort of standard has been set by the significant number of female streamers who are just there to get money for their body.
Oh yeah.
Like the bath, the spa bath, like meta on Twitch.
The
that
bath
it's like,
water and
you can be the
stuff,
number
yeah.
one streamer in a game and be the best gamer, and you'll have 5,000, 10,000 viewers, but there'll be
Then
a
someone
girl,
sitting in a bath
50,000.
with like, you know,
I'm not aware
these
of this.
headphones on in a bath.
They literally, it's just a
and-
cam stream of her in a bathtub. Oh, usually a spa. It's usually
Yeah.
like a spa, and just in a bikini talking to chat.
Yeah.
And that's the meta. And my question was,
And,
I'm
you know,
not
she
saying
even
victims
sells-
or anything.
She sells jars of the water from the bathtub.
Yeah, I forgot about. Yeah. Is that Amaranth? Might be one of those.
I don't remember the name. I try to block it out because I get like PTSD from that crap. But like,
I'm not saying that
think-
girls deserve it if they did.
No,
that.
no,
I'm
no,
not saying that
no,
by
I-
any means, but it's a culture thing, right?
Yeah, so I want to start by saying I have absolutely nothing against people who want to pursue making money in whatever way they feel comfortable. And if it is using their body for that, like through the adult industry, you do you. It's your life. Like, no judgment from me.
Mm-hmm.
That's the same thing as Twitch, what she just said, the adult industry. I think that's Twitch now.
Yeah.
But when you cross into like a platform like Twitch and, you know, where you're doing something that doesn't breach TOS, but it's that bloody close to it that it may as well, it sort of like devalues the female gamers that are there because they're very skillful at a game. And I think it makes it a really hard, because you don't see any guys sitting in bathtubs.
Yeah.
The guys that are streaming are like, you know, hardcore gamer, you know, like.
Yeah, it's like it's XQC breaking keyboards. It's Ludwig like joking around with chat, doing stupid things, racing cars.
Yeah, and all these names you're mentioning are all on that list that I'm looking at. But like, you know, you mentioned someone like, I'm trying to think of who my favorite female streamers are, and I can't think of them right now, but I do have some. None of them are on that list.
What's her name?
Pokey?
Pokemon.
She would be on that list for sure. And I guess she's probably... No.
What?
But I think she has a Patreon. That is where she makes most of her money. So I feel like that might not be...
Wasn't she a Twitch partner sort of thing? Like she did a full-on animation. I saw something like that.
Yeah. But it's like I guess she's a gamer that's kind of in that space, right? She's kind of watched because she's an interesting person to some people.
Yeah, she had a Twitch drop and everything. Yeah. So she's got. I'm trying to find how much she's earned.
I'm trying to think of a female gamer that's known for her abilities in game, and there's definitely heaps of them. But I'm trying to think of one that I'm like very familiar with. It used to be what was her name? XXX Sniper Wolf, or whatever her name is, used to be known for her like first person shooter.
The list I was looking at was the top 25. There, I've got the other 75 of the top 100 now. I'm looking through those names.
Pokemon's got to be on there, 100%.
Pokemon's number 39.
She sets the meta, I would think.
So 1.5 million in that 2-year period.
Okay, there we go.
I'm just scanning through the list. If there's any other female
people understand, this
gamers that are jumping out at me.
This is Twitch, right? So that money's from subs.
Just Twitch.
Bits.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can sub to your favorite creator on Twitch. You can send money in a donation. That's where this money's coming from. But I also assume this includes like some ad revenue.
Yeah, there would be ad rev. Yeah.
Even though I hear it's not very high on Twitch, which is interesting.
Doesn't make sense, but alright. Like, why wouldn't it be?
Apparently, Twitch just doesn't give you a lot of money, even though a lot of people are looking at your ad. You get money from ads you put in your stream more than you get from them like rando generating an ad and putting it on your stream.
Yeah, I'm not a huge watcher of Twitch streams. I'll watch them sometimes if there's a particular thing I want to see, but I don't watch them
like
a lot.
CSGO major or something.
I don't know any of these other. I know the names, but none of these are jumping out at me as females.
And I think if they were on the list, and there probably is a few on that list, I bet they're more towards the just chatting section than they are gaming content.
Like I know a lot of these. Like some of them are the organizational ones. So there's Games Done Quick. They're at number 63, so they're the speed running.
Oh yeah.
Thing, and they've got like 1.1 million. There's a Rocket League official channel is on the list. So is the official ESL CS:GO channel is on the list. But yeah, I mean, look, I'm sure there's females on this list. I just don't know enough about.
It's just an interesting kind of area for. I think we kind of think of gaming entertainment as separate from the culture that we have when we play and when we're, in all these other things. But I think if this kind of culture about I feel like if you went to a Twitch chat right now on someone's Just Chatting stream and saw the kind of things that people were saying in chat to this streamer, and it's fine in their mod settings, and that's what they want to encourage because they'll probably donate, if you look at those same kind of things, I bet a lot of the things that are said in game chat is very similar to the kind of things that people say. So I guess my point is, if you're a bad person outside of gaming and you're going to say those things, you are definitely going to say those things in gaming, because it's like Twitch chat. You can just hide as a username and say whatever you want. But you don't see it as affecting people or affecting the culture. I can't even imagine what it's like for most female gamers to look at just chat like streams and seeing what people are saying to streamers, and streamers are going, this is great, I'm making money off this. This is amazing. But what it does for the community, I guess, as a whole.
Yeah, and do you reckon kind of reflects who you are, how you act online?
But like, you would like say there was
For sure.
a streamer, a female streamer like Pokemon, for example, like playing Rust or whatever. I don't even know what game she mainly plays, but there'll be people in the chat saying, I'll donate X amount of dollars if you tilt your camera down or whatever.
100%.
But they would never do that to anyone. They would never say, hey, Shroud, like I'll give you $1,000 if you take your shirt off. Or whatever. I mean, who would want to see that anyway? But you know what I mean? Like, it's just.
There's lots of streamers on there, male streamers, and I'm blank so hard today. But there's guys that like Wardell, who plays Valorant. He is like the most shredded human being I've ever seen. I watch his chat. No one is sexualizing Wardell.
Yeah, like maybe the most. I'm guessing that the most they would do is like, oh, you're looking big, bro.
Yeah, you're looking so fit today.
Yeah.
And even he like. As part of his thing, when you're watching his stream, you can see his weight yesterday and his weight today, because he's shredding. Like you can follow that, but no one sexualizes that and is like, "Geez, I big old Wardell. I love some Wardell."
I think that feeds into like the entire, I guess, entertainment industry as well. And I know, like, I'll try and summarize this real quick because I know you want to wrap up, but like, I've seen these clips of like female performers, actors, whatever, that they're in an interview with a male counterpart and the male gets asked, what was your favorite stunt that you did in this movie? Or what was your favorite scene or something? And then they'd answer, and then the question for their female would be, so did you have to go on a special diet to fit into the clothes?
Yeah.
And it's like.
Or was your favorite scene the one where you got to love scene or what was it like acting opposite? And it's like, hey, those are cool, maybe ask that sometime in the interview, but they're a professional.
Like I saw one of Taylor Swift getting interviewed, and like the whole entire thing about where all of her songs are about her ex-boyfriends and whatever else, which is fine. Like if that's her source of her inspiration to make music, it's fine, and she even said like no one is, nearly all of Ed Sheeran's songs are about his relationships. No one's calling him out on it.
No.
Yeah, true.
Like, but they'll go, oh, Taylor Swift, like serial dater, don't date her, guys, because she'll write a song about you,
And it's like, that's it's like so frustrating, because it's like art comes from human experience and pain. And so if you were going to write all of those love songs, most of them are heartbreak songs.
Yeah.
But a guy does it, and it's like, oh wow, he was so open and transparent.
He was hurt. Yeah. He was hurt by this chick who came in and broke his heart, and then a girl writes a song, and it's like, oh well, she must be like she must be difficult to be in a relationship with.
Yeah.
If you stand up, what's the word that's like the catch word? Bossy. That word is used, but for males, it's confidence. But the comment that's made when someone behaves like that. But if a female behaves like that, it's like, oh, geez, she's bossy or she's difficult.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, what do you mean?
There is definitely a definite double standard for sure.
Yeah.
Well,
this has been a very long, extended episode of this
podcast.
Been.
Yeah.
Maybe it has to be 2 parts.
Awesome. Oh, it'll be a 2-parter for sure. Just like June.
Yes. Best movie ever.
But thank you so much, Emma, for coming on and talking us through. I hope you were comfortable through all this, because I know it's a very like serious and like we can kind of giggle at some of these clips and go, what a loser. But it's a real thing that's going on, and it's not something that, like, as guys we understand, because we're usually just the victim of abuse because you played bad or you got a weird, you got. But something else.
We get that too on top of.
Exactly, it's like collateral, like.
Yeah, so
So
thank
if you play bad and you're a female, well, GG, like that's over
Yeah,
for you.
yeah,
Like
definitely.
that's it.
Yeah. Well, we wanted to thank you, Emma, for coming onto this podcast and showing us what it's like to walk in your shoes, pretty much, and to see what it's like to be online gaming and be a female. I think that's
No worries. I think like if any female gamers are watching, please don't be disheartened. Gaming is really great. We need more females.
Yeah.
Yeah, so don't be turned off from gaming. Send me a message and I will game with you.
Yeah.
And support your mates out there too. If
If someone says something, call it out. Yeah.
and if you're well entrenched in the community and you play the game a lot, queue with these friends and support them. And I mean, there's small things, but it really adds up when we're kind of talking the whole culture. So thank you so much for illuminating this issue for us. Very serious one, but a lot of great takeaways for people, and hopefully we have good things to report on in the future. Some changes in our culture.
For sure.
But thank you so much, Emma. And guys, we'll catch you in the next one. Please leave a comment on who you guys would like to see in another episode. If you've got any stories that you want to tell about kind of your experiences with this, leave it in the comments. We'd love to see it. And please give Emma a lot of support for coming on and talking about it. Can we plug anything? Have you got anything we can plug? A Rust server?
Play Scraplands. Do it.
Awesome.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Emma. And we'll catch you in the next one. Thanks, guys.
Cool.